What's up, grinders? So today I want to talk about something interesting I've noticed as of recently on this YouTube channel. Now, for those who don't know, I do a lot of reviews. So basically I will watch language learning methodologies, videos, ideas, tools, stuff like that of other people. And as I watch them, I'll give you my honest feedback about what I think. I'll say, you know what, that's a great idea. That's a bad idea. Sometimes, all the ideas in a video I think are awesome, and some I think they're terrible, and some, it's a mix somewhere in between. But overall, I try to face like each individual idea and give my opinion about that and give it some context, what my experience with it is, etc., etc. And I do this because, well, I just like doing this. It reminds me of pre-COVID, where after the big Esperanto meetups we would have once a week, me and my mates who all just love languages would go down at the pub and we'd just like bash out ideas about language learning, languages, cultures, just all these random things, constructed languages. We would just go into depth and talk in circles, and since we'd all watched the same videos, why not just discuss the same topics? And I don't have that anymore due to COVID breaking up our group and also people moving different locations and stuff. And this is basically how I do it now. I watch the videos with you guys, I critique them, and I love reading the comments. But what I have noticed is that every now and then, well, not even every now and then, it's become more and more frequent. The more videos I review, the more you'll find that one person who has had like the best experience with that language learning methodology. And if I point out even one tiny aspect of that methodology that I don't like, God forbid I say I don't like the whole thing, they will try to tear me apart in the comments section. Now, obviously, being a YouTuber with, a kind of a small following, I guess, that's to be expected. Like, you say anything on YouTube, there's going to be someone out there who hates you and will threaten to stab you in some form or another, but bring it. No, joking, please don't bring it. I'm not like vegan gains or anything, I'm just joking, guys. Meet me in the veggie market. I've noticed this, and it's not just within language learning community, this is in all communities, that people have a tendency towards radicalization, where they find that one system or belief that they think is good for them, and therefore every other system is no longer good, and you must follow their system, otherwise you're doing it wrong. And they will point out, obviously, points of authority. They'll say, this scientific article proves my idea about this particular language learning methodology is correct, or look at this person who's super fluent, has the best pronunciation, blah, blah, blah. But the funny thing is, every single video I do is pretty much covering a different methodology, idea, whatever. And some of them are completely contradictory to one another, and yet you will find people who have followed that line of thought, that methodology, and have come out of it and are insanely good speakers. They have great pronunciation, because at the end of the day, everyone just needs some path that they want to take towards fluency, and some of us enjoy going, left, some enjoy going right, and some of us enjoy going in circles for a while, bumping into the wall until we bounce our way down to the, fluency, like a pinball machine, basically. So what I'm trying to get at with this is that obviously this is not just a language problem. Like, this happens within every community. Just look at programmers, man. You got the Rust versus C++ wars, Rust versus the C wars within the Linux community, etc., etc. Like, there's always some form of radicalization that happens within a community. It even happens in the Esperanto community. But my point being here is that if you actually want to improve yourself as a person and also, really discover new ideas, even if you think you've found the golden goose, the golden egg, the best way to think about these things is to go, you know what, I enjoy doing this, but why not try this over here? Because, like, realistically, the more I have learned about languages, and like, obviously I've gained fluency in one, and then I'm moving into a second and a third language, the more I do this, the more I discover new and interesting techniques along the way. And even if some of them are not as efficient as, my preferred methods, and maybe my preferred methods will change in a year, I don't know, because I am not fundamentalist about these things. I like to test things, and if they're good, I will tell you guys, but I'm also not going to say you need to do this. But my point being that the more I test these things, the more I have new ways of doing things if I ever get bored of whatever method I am following at the moment. So basically, just even if you think you have the best methodology and you've had the greatest experience with it, just realize there are other people who have tried what you've done and they absolutely hated it, and they've found the best methodology. And there's no point going to war with each other over, my method is better than your method, because realistically, we're not going to have like 1 billion scientific studies done on this matter. Instead of going to war over this crap, why not just share our experiences and say, you know what, and be honest about it and say, this aspect I found really good. This aspect not so good. That's another problem I've noticed. People like to gloss over the problems within their within their experience. Even if they are aware of them, they'll be like, yeah, it's not really there. And as I said, this is not just for like language learning. Like this is even within the constructed language community. Like for example, from the Esperanto community, I'll take shots at the Esperanto community all the time. I freaking love the Esperanto community, but I will point out the flaws, because otherwise how are we going to improve if we don't like point out the flaws? And like obviously some things you can't improve, like they're just inherent to the system, but you have to accept that and just move on type of thing. And it's the same with language learning methodologies. Some methods, for example, the pure CI input, let's talk about that. Sorry for those. By the way, I had someone say don't use acronyms. The pure comprehensible input methodology. You know what? Like the Dreaming Spanish, because that's what I spoke about in my last video. That's great for improving your listening, obviously, because all you're doing is listening. Lots and lots and lots of it, okay? But then don't turn around and say, oh, well, obviously it's going to make you an amazing speaker. There is a lot better methodologies for speaking, you know? So like, why not combine these different ideas, take a little bit from over there, a little bit from over here, etc., etc. And even if you think, no, this is the best methodology, even let's say for speaking, this is the best methodology, accept the fact that there is other methodologies out there that probably work just as well. Like, there is no just one path to get to fluency. There is a million paths to get there, and the best way to approach these things is just to, like, actually try, open our minds and look at the different ones out there. So when you see me jump from one video to the next video, the next video, the next video, and it looks like I'm just taking shots at every methodology, but some of them I agree with, but I'm not doing that because I think I have the magic sauce. I don't. I just see the flaws in every methodology that exists, and I see the benefits in every methodology that exists because I've tried most of them. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm a god at language learning. Like, there are people on YouTube who speak way more languages than me, and it's not something I do professionally in any fashion. But I just feel like most people are not honest, obviously, on YouTube. They're not honest to other people, and they're not even honest to themselves. Just try not to become radicalized in your thinking, is what I'm trying to get at. I've rambled on for way too much. Man, I really wish my my local meetups here, where we would just go down to the pub with the Esperanto speakers and talk about languages for hours, still happen, because this is the type of stuff I loved doing there.